Hi there, I'm Zoot Java. Today I'd like to talk about something rather odd. Well, not really that odd, but I guess the odd thing is I was just speaking of this in my last video just a few days ago, and it was about Styx Hexenhammer 666 and Dr. Karlin Borisenko. Uh, in particular, getting shadow banned, getting blocked, and possibly having their channels removed. Um, Again, I chose them because they aren't staunch conservatives. They do have conservative leaning ideas. Like Styx is actually a libertarian. Dr. Karlin Borchenko, up until very recently, has been a lifelong Democrat. And she now has walked away from being a Democrat and is well, I think she'll probably register for the Republican Party now, but it's only because the Democrats have gone radically left. But uh, all those things aside, it's people like her, people like Styx, people like Brandon Tatum, who are getting hundreds of people, hundreds of their subscriber list, getting deleted almost on a daily basis. And the algorithms are just not in their favor any longer. And as I pointed out, mine, I I am nothing, a blip on the radar, literally, as a content creator, and yet my algorithms are way down. I compared them to BitChute algorithms that I have, which BitChute is a very large platform, but nowhere near as large as YouTube is. And here I am getting more than double the amount of views on my BitChute platform than I am on YouTube, which theoretically doesn't kind of make sense. So, in the wake of this, just a few days after I was pointing this out, it turns out that YouTube has decided to change its terms of service so that if you report on the election, and I'm talking about the American election, presidential election, and saying that there's any fraud, that Joe Biden only got elected because of mail fraud or some other type of voter fraud, that they will be deleting your videos and you will be getting strikes. For those that don't know, once you get 3 strikes, you lose your entire channel. So anything you've worked for up until now is just gone. Absolutely gone. Um, I point this out because I already have 1 strike. And in my last video, I talked about why. Um, I still think that they're wrong. And the weird thing about it is that being on such a small person, a small creator, small content creator here, um, you would think that my algorithms would kind of be skipped over. Like I wouldn't really be anything. That they would really be going after people like Styx Hexenhammer, Dr. Karlin Borchenko, other people like Brandon Tatum, let's say. He's got 1 million subscribers. Styx is way over the 100,000, as well as Dr. Karlin. So you'd think they'd want to get them out of the way. And if you get them out of the way, then people like myself wouldn't even bother to try and start something up here, because you would see that there's no point, that as soon as you start to grow, you get chopped down. So here I am trying to do my best, and I look up and I see this happening to them. Yet I still keep trying, and I don't know what to make of this, because if you read further into all of these terms of service, they're talking about, the integrity of the election and the reporting of it, and the integrity of the voting, and how, people coming to YouTube for information on voting. And what I don't understand is, well, a couple of things. And the first one it's only for the American election. Okay, so this could be a presidential, a prime minister, dictatorial election in any other country, and that's just fine, not a problem. But it's the presidential election of the United States that you're not allowed to criticize. You're not allowed to, not even allowed to question it, not allowed to put it out there, just for people to think. That's the whole idea. If people can just say, yeah, why is that? So that's the thing that I don't understand. Like, they're saying we want to get rid of conspiracy theories, etc. Even conspiracy theories, there's something about them that can make you just wonder, make you think. It doesn't necessarily mean that you believe in it, but it can make you think about what's going on, because not everything is cut and dried, or black and white, whatever you want, and rosy in this world. Someone is always looking for a way to take advantage of other people. So when strange things are happening in an election, let's say, anywhere in the world, one would want to think about possibilities so that they could ensure that nothing would happen in these elections again. And does that happen? No. Why is that? And that is because as they call them, big tech giants are literally trying to dictate how everyone thinks. They don't want anyone to be able to question anything. I haven't said anything about questioning, about actual voter fraud or anything like that in this video. I've just put out an opinion on it, opinion on having an opinion on it. That's basically all I've said, and that's all that I mean. But when I said, why just the American election? Well, it would appear that, YouTube is a US-based company, and they are trying to control that election by limiting the amount of people with a conservative viewpoint who simply want to take a look into this. So we're not allowed to say anything. I'm not American, so I don't know why they would come after me, but I'm on an American platform. It's based in the US, so it's in their interest to try and shape the election, because they can control the Democrats much easier than the Republicans. The Republicans are no big powerhouse, don't get me wrong. They're kind of what a lot of people consider namby-pambies. They sort of sit there and pretty docile. There are a few members of the Republican Party who are staunch, get up, and they're angry with a lot of things that are going on. to get their point across. But they're few and far between. The Democrat Party are very, very easily controlled by anyone who, all you have to do is take a look at it. Take a look at the way they behave. If you've got a lot of money, you can just wave it under their nose and boom, there you go. Look at, for instance, AOC. She gets out and screams and hollers, "Oh, I'm a social democrat," which is just, everything is just changing the definition of words. Right? That's the new thing. If someone can't win an argument, they change the definition of the words that they're using. So she's a social democrat. Well, what does that mean? It means she's a socialist. It means basically she's a communist, because that's all her ideas are. So if by social democrat you mean someone gets elected, well, what's the difference? I mean, you elect a dictator. There's a lot of countries that have dictators, and you have to vote. But when you go to vote, there's only one party to vote for and one leader to vote for. Yeah, that's democracy for you. Say, well, you voted for it. Yeah, but there was nothing else to vote for. Oh well, way it goes. You voted for it. It was democratic. All right. So she wants to be a social democrat. Fine, lady. Change the definition. You're nothing but a socialist. You're nothing but a communist. And yet she was out there selling those ugly looking t-shirts and sweatshirts at an inflated price that says to me, oh, look at the capitalist we got here. I got no problem with her being a capitalist. I got no problem with her making money. But don't make it and scream up and down that you're a social democrat, that you care about everybody else's social needs, that you're looking out for the little guy, when you're taking advantage of everybody and everything to make a buck. Look at Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is now married to Tim Manette, and he's her, I believe, campaign manager, or his business is. And she shoveled something in the neighborhood of, it's over $1 million, but I believe it to be $2 million. So let's just say that's what I think it is. I'm not hard and fast on that number. I know for sure it's over $1 million though. So that's campaign money. You're not supposed to be doing this. I believe that's some kind of a money laundering scheme that she's taking advantage of. That type of capitalism I don't like. If it's illegal, I'm sorry, but I don't go for that. Don't believe in that. You go about it in any way you wish. So what we've got are a series of billionaires taking advantage of everything, wanting to shape the election. And they know Democrats are the easiest ones to control. So that's who they want in power, because they will say jump, and an 80-year-old person like Nancy Pelosi or a 78-year-old like Joe Biden will just say, how high? And they'll jump up to that level too. Or should I say down to that level? Because they got no morals, no scruples. So, as Nancy Pelosi, as a matter of fact, proved by saying she did not sign the stimulus package for everyone, all the starving American people out there who were put out of work by the government, the state government, I might add, not Trump as they are alleging. And she said that they're not getting the stimulus package because of Trump. They're not getting it until Biden's in power. Now she'll sign it because Biden is elected. So she can credit Joe Biden with getting this. That's why she held up the stimulus package. That's why she let people go hungry. And she's always out there, oh, we're doing this for Americans. She did this for her own stinking power. So here we go back to the terms of service. And again, it's these billionaires who are trying to control everything. And Bernie Sanders, let's take him for example. He was the guy who used to scream millionaires and billionaires all the time. And this is a point that a lot of people have touched on. But I noticed it myself. All of a sudden, he's just screaming about how we have to punish the billionaires, tax the daylights out of the billionaires. Well, that's because Bernie is now a millionaire. Yeah, a guy who really called himself a socialist was out there praising Castro and the like, praising Venezuela, of all places. Gotta kind of shut his mouth about that lately, though, hasn't he? And where's the proof of what I'm saying about controlling them? Look how they got him to bow out of the race in 2016. Right? Hey, Bernie, you want some money? Want to be pushed into the millionaire bracket? All you got to do is bow out of the race and let Hillary go so we don't have a problem here. Yeah. That's what happened there. See? They're controlling him. They're controlling everybody. But Donald Trump, you couldn't control him. He went into politics as a billionaire. What are you going to do? Offer him money? Huh? You try and get him to dance whenever you say so? No. Donald Trump went in there to shape the country because Donald Trump had a reason to shape the country. He actually loves America. And he was trying, when he said to make America great again, he meant, just like after the Second War, and everything was going full steam ahead, and all these companies were working, and all these people were employed. You didn't need a whole pile of social programs. Everybody was working. Everybody was doing good. Everybody had a piece of the pie. A piece of the American pie. And they loved the country. He loved the country. Now it's all these people who are on the right, or from the left, leaning right, who are, let's say, Trump supporters, shall we? Also, they're the ones you see who will get into rallies and scream, USA, USA, where you used to see everybody doing that. The entire country, people would chant that. But not those on the left. They hate America. They absolutely cannot stand America. To this I say, then leave. There's all sorts of countries out there that operate the way that you are trying to change America to. They do all these wonderful things that you want to do. You got all these great ideas that you aspire to. Go there. Go. You don't have to bring about change. You don't have to be violent thugs walking through the streets, beating people up, throwing rocks, Molotov cocktails, trying to burn people alive inside of the police station by trapping them inside and setting it on fire. Thankfully, that didn't work. But that's what's going on. They only care. These terms of service are only there because they don't want anybody in but people who they can control. And that's the sad truth of it. What I don't understand and haven't understood since this kerfuffle started with the voting is, as the self-proclaimed president-elect, and if I was in the same position as Kamala Harris, I would have said, go ahead. Go ahead. Look into these things. I just don't understand why they're fighting. I would simply have said, go ahead. Have a recount if you want. I mean, they're so positive that they won. They're so positive that they won fair and square. They're so positive that they came out ahead. I don't know why they're even fighting it. Like, why say anything? I would just sit back and let Donald Trump run around, do everything that he's doing. I wouldn't even acknowledge it. I would just say, okay, you're allowed to. It's not like this is a weird thing. It's been challenged before. There have been elections that have been challenged before in the United States, legally. So I don't understand why they are fighting this. You look, it's a better look optically for yourself. As long as he's not doing anything illegal, and he's not. He's making legal challenges. He's going and using the legal system. So let him go ahead. Let him run around and blow off that steam, and then on the 20th, take office. And then you don't have to worry about anything. But it just reminds me of that saying, methinks they protest too much. So with that, I'm just going to leave it there. And I'm going to go on to the part that you've all been waiting for, my bad joke. And that would be, I think that my wife should be called Google, because I can't get a sentence out of my mouth without her finishing her idea of what I want to say. Hey, drummer, you're supposed to hit the cymbal. That's better. So anyhow, on that note, please, as a result of everything that I was talking about, please like and subscribe, because it really helps me out, especially now that we found all these things out about the shadow banning and people getting their accounts deleted and everything. I really, really need it. And it obviously bothers them if they're messing with algorithms on somebody whose channel is so small, such as myself, all the way up to the big guys. Hit the bell for notifications of more of my words of wisdom. And thank you very much for listening to today. I just had to get on and just kind of give up a tiny little rant about these things, because it just bothered me so much. And I couldn't believe that this happened just days after I was pointing this out. So, until next time, okay? Have a Java on Zoot.